It's time to pillage another podcast. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to pillagingJustForFun.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFS. Brought to you by Creative Media Design Studio. Check them out at creativemediamonterey.com. Yo, it's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What's happening, Che?
Man, I'm living life, feeling great. How are you doing?
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's pretty warm in here.
It's warm up in the studio today.
Long-time listeners know the drill. Windows got to be shut in the studio, and I think it was like 85 degrees today.
Yeah, it was warm.
This is the front-facing room. Sun sets right into this studio.
Yeah.
So it's warm.
Yeah.
We're back to that era of the show.
It feels very muggy, but it's all right.
It's okay.
It's all right.
We're sweating with Raiders passion.
Yeah.
Coming out of our pores.
It's that Raiders funk. That's what's up in the studio.
That Raiders funk. That's what it is.
Gotta get into you.
But yeah, man, had a couple big difference maker signings today. Those big splashes finally happened in free agency.
Yeah.
That's sarcasm in my voice, if you can't tell. Che's got a brand new microphone.
Yeah, man, I feel like a professional now.
Well, dress for the job you want to have.
There you go.
That's what I always say.
There you go.
But
my job is the job that I want to have is a job that allows me to wear basketball shorts.
I like
and
that
a t-shirt
job.
at all times.
But yeah, matching mics, mic bros now. So
there you go.
Sound should be nice and consistent for y'all listeners. And if you're just new to the show, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Big show last week. Stephen Michaels on. He was fired up.
Yeah, he was, man. He brought the heat.
Yeah, feedback from him. If you guys don't know, Stephen Michaels lives out in Boston, and he did the whole show outdoors. Boston time. We record 8:30 our time. So I was, 11:30 his time, and he was freezing.
Yeah.
He was concerned. It showed up in his voice, and I was like, nah, dog, you G'd on. You were fine.
Yeah, no. He was doing good.
I thought he did well. Man. Big show this week. We got Maurice Moton on from Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
By popular demand. We've been trying to make this happen for a while. Our schedules were out of sync, and now we form like Voltron.
There you go.
Motron.
Voton.
Yeah. So we got a nice slate of guests coming at you. We got Eddie Borsili next week from XM Sirius Radio NFL station.
Oh yeah,
that's a big time get right there. It's
yes,
national broadcaster. And the week after that, it's going to be Levi Damien from silverandblackpride.com.
Oh, yeah.
Levi, for all the upstart guys out there with your podcast or your upstart writer, whoever writing for Full Press, Raider Ramble, all of these sites that are sort of grassroots sites, Levi Damien was sort of the pioneer of all that. So I'm excited to talk to him really about how he got to where he's at.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to Moton about that too, because Moton does quite a bit of everything, even to this day. But enough about that. It's time to get into the show. You ready to do it?
Let's do it.
All right. The Raiders signed veteran cornerback Leon Hall today.
Watch out now.
Look out. Roll beater. Lockdown.
No lockdown.
You better lock him up.
The only thing he's locking down is his back, probably, like you. Back problem.
So I think he's another 30-year-old vet, another 30-plus guy.
Another one, yes. Another former Bengal, familiar with Gunther, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
Comes over from across the bay, played for San Francisco last year. I'm not going to go into the stats. They're not all that impressive.
Yeah, because he didn't play for very long.
He did not. Like you said, another Bengal defender. He joins Rashawn Melvin, Sharice Wright, or Sharice Wrong, as we like to call him. Who else coming over from that squad? Reggie Nelson.
Yeah.
That's another quick hit. We'll save that.
Yeah, he was re-signed. That's right.
He'll likely be a reserve on the roster while battling for a crack at the starting nickelback position, possibly. Another older guy that brings some vet experience to the secondary.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. What are your thoughts on Leon Hall?
Yeah.
Quick hits. The past week, just after we got off the air last week, the following morning, I believe, actually it was Friday night, Saturday morning, shortly after we wrapped our last show, Reggie Nelson was signed to the squad.
Yeah.
A lot of mixed feelings about this. If you follow the show, you know what our initial reaction was. I was flamed up on Twitter by a couple folks saying, "Oh, you're overreacting." It's just an opinion. It's not an overreaction.
It's true.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Our opinion is, damn it. Like, why did we sign him again?
So, anyways, thoughts on Nelson is basically he's going to come in, help install the scheme, and coach up the players during training camp.
Yeah.
If I'm okay with that, if that's what the case is.
If that's what it is, yes.
And I know when Irvin was here, Nelson was playing in a single high scheme. That absolutely does not fit his skill set, especially at his age. He'll be playing in a 2 high scheme now, which is different. But if Reggie Nelson is the starter opening day, a lot of concerns on many different levels about our roster depth and the competition there. Because first of all, I think most people are expecting Obi.
Right.
Some folks are expecting now Gilchrist.
Right.
Some folks are expecting Gilchrist to play nickel. We're going to talk to Moton about that because Gilchrist is sort of a jack of all trades, master of none, as you said last week.
Master of none.
What was your gut reaction on Reggie Nelson? Did you throw your phone out the window?
No, man, because I just got this phone. It's too damn expensive to be thrown out no damn window. Even though I got a nice heavy-duty case, it probably would have survived. But if I was still rocking the 4S, I probably would have thrown it out the window. Man, you know our feeling on this. We've been complaining about Reggie Nelson for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Feeling like he falls short in a lot of areas. He's just to the eye, man. If you watch games, he's always the guy that takes, to me, in my opinion, takes bad angles.
Does, yeah.
He takes bad angles. And you alluded to the fact that you felt like Sean Smith's, bad season, the first season he was with us, was a lot of times maybe attributed to Reggie Nelson and their miscommunication, his non-help over the top.
Yeah.
So there's always been that question as to whether or not that was the case. Last season, at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talks about how he was a leader and he was a veteran leader. He was a super into the studying and making sure that he was on top of it, watching film and all this stuff, and it sounded really great. And then he came out and played no different.
Right.
So to me, you showed me once, you showed me twice. I don't want you to show me a third time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good.
I get it.
I'm good, bro. I see it. I see what you do.
But I'll hold out hope. I got to have faith in this coaching system.
Right.
And if they're truly bringing him in as just a mentor and not expecting him to be the starting safety, I'm good with that. Reggie Nelson does have years experience in this game. I've heard mixed reports though about his work ethic and his preparation. Yeah. I've heard he does fall asleep in meetings and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know, because now the staff is saying that this guy's a hard worker and he's a great mentor. So I'm just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. That's where we're at right now. But like I said, I'm good with it if he's not in the plans to be the starter. I think if he is, then there's something going on there.
Yeah.
So former Raiders quarterback and broadcaster David Humm passed away this week.
Yes, I saw that.
David Humm has actually been doing the show, the pre and post game show for the Raiders radio from his home for some time now. I'm not sure how many people knew that. Battled with multiple sclerosis for some time, known as the backup to Kenny Stabler. Just a really well-respected guy around the organization. I only know him as a broadcaster because of my age. I thought he was great on the broadcast. Great broadcaster. Fit in really well with Atkinson and Papa and JT over there. And he'll be missed, man. He'll be missed. I've been on Twitter today. I've seen a lot of the vets from around the organization kind of lamenting his loss. And some of the things they had to say about him were, it was thought-provoking. Kendra, which is Stabler's daughter, I believe, she's, I guess, been conversing with him on a weekly basis up until now. So, it just seemed like a really good dude. So, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention that.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace, David Humm.
Yes.
Once a Raider, always a Raider.
Always.
And now you're with your former coach.
There you go.
And owner up in the great skybox.
There you go.
In the sky.
In the sky. Yeah.
So this Raiders team will give them something to look down on this season and be proud of.
I sure hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you will be missed. Lastly, just kind of an amalgamation of things that went on this week. Interviews with Reggie McKenzie, interviews with John Gruden. And it sounds like the word right now is bringing a lot of older guys. Guys that are going to push the competition guys that are going to help install the scheme, guys that are going to help lead the way.
Yeah.
But the year of the scholarship, the era of the scholarships are over. And Gruden went on record this week, and he was talking about, we got a lot of young guys on this roster that have yet to prove their worth.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a shot this year. And if they can't, then it might be time to move on.
Yeah.
So, the word is out on those guys. The warning shots have been fired.
Definitely.
And that's where we are. So I think, I can't really argue with the strategy considering what we have to work with. And we're not going to rehash that conversation, but there's nothing wrong with bringing in a lot of different experience at different levels to just create this competition during camp. So it should be an interesting one. And I think we got a lot of value for the amount of money we had to work with and what we ended up spending,
Yeah. I think on top of that, man, I think the big picture is changing the culture of the locker room.
Yeah.
For us fans, we saw what didn't appear to be very good chemistry amongst the members of our squad last season. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that Gruden saw the same thing from his position as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
So the thing that he's trying to do is, maybe we're not getting the big popular names, maybe we're not getting the big play guys, but we're changing up this culture. We're trying to make it what we want it to be, and that's a positive one where we're all working together. So I can't be mad at it until we see the product on the field, and whether or not it's successful, then we can start to make our decisions on whether or not we're happy with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, at least it's a focus on competition. The one thing, too, that Reggie said is right now, because John's brought in his coaching staff, the communication's a lot better than the last few years. Remember, Reggie's had, I think, 3 different coaches now underneath him, right?
Right.
And he's just trying to bring in players that the coaches want. And I think the first year, he alluded to this, the first year under Jack Del Rio, he got that. And then the second year,
not
so much. Actually, I should say the third year, right? Jack's third year.
Right.
Not so much. So, so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of PG's former guys come in here, and if that's what's going to help PG do his job better, then PG, we're going to give you what you need.
Right.
And that seems to be the philosophy of this organization right now, is we're going to get you guys anything it is that you need. And really that started back with Jack Del Rio walking through the door and getting a brand new training facility. So
right.
Mark, you can say what you want about Mark Davis. There's a lot of people that hate him. There's a lot of people that think he's a lot smarter than he looks. I'm starting to lean in that direction too. I think, just like Mark said, he knows what he doesn't know, and he knows when to get out of the way. And he just said recently, also this week, out in Las Vegas, a lot of coverage this week coming out of the owners meeting, that he's ready to step aside fully now. He's got Gruden and Reggie in place. He doesn't have to worry about football at all anymore.
There you go.
And now you see the stadium deal getting done, so Mark's probably going to be focused a lot more in Vegas this season. He said he was in Vegas a lot last season. Mm-hmm. He's kind of been away from there lately. Look for him to get back to that spot. And this is starting to seem like a legit organization once again. I mean, it's been trending in that direction now for the past 5 years or so. But
right.
We're starting to get that footing. The real interesting thing is going to be how much power does John Gruden have. I'm seeing things out there that he's in charge at the top of the draft board. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, I guess you've heard stories of him not being maybe the best. I mean, we heard that from Kingdon, right?
Yeah.
That he wasn't necessarily the best at scouting players or analyzing talent.
Yeah.
But hopefully, the ego is set aside, and our group, Reggie and Gruden and the coaching staff are able to work together as one mind and really focus in on players that can help us out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, and then, it came out also this week too, that Reggie's got a new job as general manager, kind of a different role. Sounds like now he's more of a pure general manager, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And now the other argument could be said that he's on the hot seat this year. The job doesn't go well this year, that
it's
maybe
true.
He's gone. But, I don't know that they're going to give John Gruden general manager title after Reggie leaves. And so if he is on the hot seat and he leaves and you bring in a new general manager, I don't know. It depends on who you bring in, but I don't know how much that situation changes. Right. Reggie's been knocked a lot. He hasn't had the greatest drafts, but he's had some outstanding drafts. He's got some late-round talent. He's got some mid-round duds, and he's got some first, second-round no-brainers. So say what you want about what he's done. Overall, he's graded out fairly well, not excellent. But what GM in the league is excellent at the draft? Nobody nails every single draft, every single year, every single round.
True.
So I'm happy to be a Reggie McKenzie fan, but even at me, I'm skeptical because last year's draft remains to be seen. You know, if Conley's a hit and Obi's a hit, then now we know.
Yeah.
But that first draft was garbage. And you could write that one off the book, so you didn't have a whole lot to work with. And then, you got hits and misses kind of all over the place. So let's see what happens in a real defensive scheme. Let's see what PG can get out of these guys. He does pretty good with value players. And, I still think even after all this time, the word is somewhat out on Reggie. He's done some good stuff. There's a lot of question marks there, but I think a lot of them have yet to be answered. And it's not too late for those questions to be answered. So, let me get out of my own way, unless you got anything else to say.
No, the only thing that I would add to that is that the one thing that Raider fans should feel comfort in is that the fact that they're allowing Paul Guenther to bring in some of these veteran guys, some of these former Bengals, shows that our coaching staff is not stepping on each other's toes, right? They're allowing him to try to implement what he sees for our defense.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. We didn't have that with the past regime.
No.
We didn't have that.
No.
We had a guy that held back a defensive coordinator and then put somebody else to babysit him and then all that kind of stuff, right? Like that shit don't work.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. That's not good. That's not how success is reached. Like you can't have a guy in a position that isn't allowed to do his job, or you don't think that he can do his job, so then why the hell you have him there in the first place, right?
Exactly.
So you can see with this coaching staff, it's already being set that you are in charge of the defense. Handle that shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle this side, and we're going to work together to make something that's positive, something successful. Right. Yeah.
I mean, like the other sign is these are PG guys. These are not John Gruden guys. So it just tells me they are working together as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Reggie's going to bring in the guys. Hey, maybe they wanted somebody else, and Reggie's like, we can't do that right now.
Right.
So you got Jordy Nelson that just screams John Gruden guy to me. Mm-hmm. Older guy, smart dude, good attitude, hard worker, doesn't give up, doesn't complain. That sounds like a John Gruden type dude to me.
Yep.
It sounds like a Tim Brown or a Jerry Rice.
That's right.
It seemed very familiar to those kinds of signings. So, Tim Brown was already there.
Brown was always there.
You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I think we covered that pretty well. We're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back with Maurice Moton. It's Motown Philly back again.
With the little East Coast.
Thank you for picking me up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We out here.
Peace.
All right, we're back, and we got Maurice Moton on the air. Motown Philly back again.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Mo. You're not from Detroit or Philadelphia, are you?
No, neither one. Straight from New York City, right in Brooklyn, right in the middle of Brooklyn. So that's where I'm coming from. A lot of people are surprised by that because I cover the Raiders, but there's a long story behind that. I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but there's a reason for all of that.
Yeah, let's get into that. Because I know you covered the Jets too, or you did, and you cover a lot of different sports actually. But give us a story. How did Moton get to where he's at today?
Oh man! First of all, I started off as most writers do, writing for free, basically writing for small blogs. Most people use FanSpeak now for their mock drafts. They are actually hiring writers, or not hiring, but asking for contributors. And I was covering the NFC East and fantasy football, started there. Then from there, I moved on to football.com, which is a site that no longer exists, covering the Steelers. From there, I did open trials for Bleacher Report. And on 2 tries, I got on, started covering the Jets, as you mentioned. And I asked to actually cover the Raiders. I was covering the Jets and the Raiders at one point at the same time, and then I just became a full Raiders writer. I guess off the popularity. My editor was like, "Well, maybe we'll just transfer you over to the Raiders since you're a fan of that team, so we'll move you there." They just assumed that I wanted to cover the Jets because I'm in New York, but
yeah,
wasn't the case. and I've been covering the Raiders ever since. So it's been about, I would say, 3 years straight since 2015. I've been covering the Raiders for Bleacher Report, for NFL Spin Zone, for the most part, and in between, I still cover the Jets and Giants here and there because, again, that's what I grew up watching. When you're in New York City and Sunday Ticket doesn't exist, and all of these streaming devices don't exist, you're watching the Jets or the Giants when you're in New York City. That's what I was exposed to. But as a child, as a kid growing up, I identified with the Raiders because I was kind of an outcast growing up. Like, I was kind of like the athletic nerd. Like, people didn't think I was good at sports until I actually played them because I was smart. I was a smart kid.
Yeah.
But I felt like I connected with the Raiders because they were the kind of like the outcast football team, and I was kind of like the outcast kid growing up in elementary, middle school. So for me, it's more of an identity thing with being the Raiders, and that's how I became a fan.
I think a lot of folks, it's an identity thing with the Raiders, right?
Hell yeah.
Just that swagger, that outlaw mentality, the colors, the mystique.
Right.
We don't want to confine, man. We don't want to just like go with the flow.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. My first, a quick story. My first jersey I ever bought was a Charles Woodson jersey, and of course it was a bootleg jersey. It wasn't authentic. It was a bootleg jersey. So after I washed it 4 times, the numbers came right off. But I still wore it, and I swore I was Charles Woodson when I wore that jersey.
Yeah, dope. Hell yeah.
You got a Woodson jersey, right, Che?
Oh yeah, I wear that shit every game, man.
Yeah.
Every home game, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Mo, go ahead.
That's my whole Raiders story of how I just became a fan of the Raiders over a New York based team like the Jets or the Giants.
So what's that like being a fan of the team that you cover? I mean, is there a line you have to walk? Do you attempt to walk the line? Is it hard to be objective? Is it better to be more critical? Easier to be more critical? What's it like being a fan of the team that you cover?
I'll tell you this: when I first started, it was tough because after losses, you wanna be emotional about it. You are emotional about it. So what I do usually after a game, win or lose, I take about an hour and a half before I write anything because I want the emotion to come out first. You know, be happy for the win or be upset about the loss, and then put it aside and say, okay, now I have to do my job.
Right.
I have to be a professional now. So that's what I do. I let time pass, let it cool off. Just like as a player, you step off the field and sometimes you get a mic in your face, you got to answer questions, you're still emotional about it. See,
Yeah.
I get that luxury where I can wait. They don't. So I feel for them in a way. I get time to cool off where before I write something, I can say, all right, deep breath, or, celebrate, jump on the table, do what you want to do. Okay, then cut it down the middle. You got to be fair. You got to be critical, and you got to put out the good and bad, win or loss. And I think fans sometimes struggle with seeing the good after a loss or seeing the bad after a win, but that's what I have to do. And sometimes I'm the bad guy for it. Sometimes I'm the good guy for it, but that's part of the territory. It comes with the job.
Yeah. Well, this is what we're going to do next season. I'm going to call you 5 minutes after our first loss.
I don't think that's a good idea. If it's a loss, I don't think that's a good idea because it'll be laced with a bunch of explicatives and fire this person, fire that person. Believe me, I get it. When the fans are upset on Twitter, I totally get it. I totally understand it.
And that's what we want, though. We want those hot takes, man. We want the hot takes, man.
Mo's right though, man. Twitter's a shit show after we lose.
I know.
It's bad.
Social media in general is a shit show after we lose, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And you know what? I enjoy it. After a loss, I just kind of sit there and I play therapist sometimes. It's fun. And seriously, it's fun because sometimes like I have the level head, and sometimes people come to me and say, you know what, talk me off the ledge. Tell me why this season isn't over after we just went 0-2 or we just lost 2 straight games or whatever the case may be. And I'm able to just calm them down. Like, look, this is the bigger picture here. Let's calm down. Let's wait a minute. Let's put the pitchforks away.
Yeah.
Get off the ledge. Take a deep breath. Have a taco. Have a beer or something and chill out. We still have 13, 12, whatever left this season left to play. It's still time to get back in the playoff race or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the other way around where people think, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I got to be the bad guy. Yeah, I got to be the bad guy after that. It happens.
Get ready for a whole lot of that this year. But since I have you in the talking off the ledge modality right now,
Oh, yeah.
it's a perfect segue because what I need you to do is talk fans off the ledge regarding the Reggie Nelson signing. What's to make of the Reggie Nelson acquisition this time around?
I'll say this about all the veteran signings, including Reggie Nelson. Okay, most of those guys are not going to make the roster. I actually think this is going to shock you, but I actually think Reggie Nelson is going to make the roster, but I don't think he'll start.
Good.
I think he's just a placeholder until Obi Melifonwu gets healthy. I don't know what's going on with Obi's recovery rate. I don't know when he'll be back, or there's really no update on him.
Yeah.
But I think Reggie Nelson will probably be a placeholder until Obi's ready to come back full time, and then they can decide what they want to do with Carl Joseph, whether he plays strong safety or free safety. Of course, you also have the draft. Who knows? They may draft early at safety. I don't know how Gruden feels about Obi Melifonwu or the guys that are in the previous draft.
Yeah.
I know he said, there was a quote, he said, we need the young people to emerge and start playing a lot of football for this team. And what I say to that quote is, he's talking about guys like Mary Edwards Jr., who's been hurt off and on for the last 3 years. He's talking about Carl Joseph, Jihad Ward, maybe even Shalik Calhoun, David Sharp.
Yep.
Obi Melifonwu, Garyon Conley. He's talking about those guys. He's not talking about Reno Giacomini. He's not talking about Leon Hall. He's not talking about Marcus Gilchrist or Sharice Wright.
Right.
He's talking about the young guys. So what this is this is competition. If your young guys aren't able to step up and beat out these old veterans who are 30 years and older, then that's a problem with your draft class. That's a problem with McKenzie's scouting team.
Yeah.
If they can't beat up these old guys, that's the major problem. If they can't beat those guys out, then it's time to worry. But I assume that they will eventually beat those guys out once camp rolls.
Yeah. He's not talking about Sharice Wright then. He's not. Sharice Wright better live up to his potential this season or it's over for Wright.
Definitely not. There's only, I would say, 3 or 4 guys that he signed during free agency that I would say are guys that are going to step up, and that's Tahir Whitehead, Jordy Nelson, Rashawn Melvin, maybe even Doug Martin. A lot of people aren't giving Doug Martin enough credit. I mean, he's had 2 seasons where he's rushed for, I believe, over 1,400 yards, and he has 2 seasons under 500. He had some off-the-field issues, but I think Doug Martin is a lot better than people are giving him credit for. He's on a 1-year deal. I think he'll do fine, but I still think it's a possibility they draft a running back because, as I just said, Doug Martin 1 year left, Marshawn Lynch 1 year left, and I don't think you're comfortable with DeAndre Washington or Jalen Richard as your starting running back after those 2 guys leave.
Huh. So, Michael Gilchrist, you didn't mention him. Is he going to be plugged in as the starter at free safety at some point, or is he coming in here to compete for the nickel position? He's sort of a wild card because he, as Chase said last week, jack of all trades, master of none. Where's Gilchrist's position on this roster? Is he just backup? Where's he at?
I feel like he's a backup. I watched him. He played for the Jets for 2 seasons as a free safety, mostly as a free safety. I mean, he was decent. It was nothing to write home about. Had about 5 intos and about 10 TDs, pass breakups in 2 years with the Jets. Didn't have a great year with Houston. I think he's just filler right now. I'm not even sure if he makes the roster. Again, It'll probably be between him and Nelson, and I would say Nelson has the edge because he's familiar with Gunther's defensive scheme, whereas Marcus Gilchrist isn't.
So, because I was comparing him to like the Nate Allen signing last week. I was like, Gilchrist is like this year's Nate Allen. I don't see him getting as much time as Allen, but I kind of feel like he's just there, like you said, as filler. But knowing that he can play the nickel position and kind of a big question mark right now, is it going to be Dexter McDonald? Is it going to be Leon Hall? Is it going to be Gilchrist? Who takes that spot? You don't like it? Yeah, here's a better question for you, Mo. On opening day, what's the Raiders secondary look like in your opinion? Give me from left corner all the way through the safety spots to right corner, and then as your bonus, throw in our nickel back. Who's that going to be as it stands right now?
Ooh,
you want me to go from left corner, right corner to safety to nickel?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I got Garyon Conley. Let's see, I got Rashawn Melvin. I mean, you could probably switch them. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know what Garyon Conley is going to be. We saw good stuff in short stints, but we don't exactly know what he's going to, when he comes back on the field, on the practice field, what he's going to be. But yeah, I guess you could switch him. Garyon Conley, Rashawn Melvin. At the safety position, I believe Carl Joseph is still going to be a strong safety. And they're going to have, again, Nelson is going to be a placeholder. I know people are screaming right now that their phones are, oh, my God, Reggie Nelson. Don't worry. He'll be there for the beginning. I don't think he finishes off in the starting position, but he'll be there in the beginning. And then that nickel spot, it's pretty tricky. Now, Leon Hall, I know Vic Taper said Leon Hall was needed for nickel, but I don't even think he makes the roster. Now, I know this is probably, we'll talk about this later on, but if they draft Derwin James, who I watched his film today and I was pretty impressed, if they do draft him, I would like him in that nickel position. I think he can fill that spot pretty well. And if they, I don't want to say I was against drafting him. I just didn't think the Raiders would, but if they do, I would be cool with that.
Who was that?
Derwin James.
Derwin James.
Wow.
Florida State.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Wow.
But real quick though, I really do think the Raiders draft, I would say 3 cornerbacks, and 2 of those guys make the roster, and 1 of those guys, if it's not Derwin James being drafted, 1 of those cornerbacks will be the nickelback, basically.
So one guy that will be there at 10 most likely is Denzel Ward. What are your thoughts on Ward? Is he a pick at 10, or do the Raiders pass on drafting another corner in the first round this year?
I actually don't think Denzel Ward's going to be there at 10. Most people look at him as the best cornerback in this draft. I actually think the Browns I think he could go as high as 4. And a lot of people don't have this opinion, but I think he can go to the Browns at 4 because they need a cornerback. I know they just signed EJ Gaines, but he has some injury concerns. And I think the Browns will go after a guy that they can put there for at least the next 4 to 5 years and say, okay, that's our lead cornerback. Similar to what the Raiders did with Garrett Conley last year. Of course, Garrett Conley was drafted later on in the first round, but when you have a guy like Ward who's head and shoulders, a lot of people feel like he's head and shoulders above the rest, you draft him.
Right. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be there for the Raiders at 10. But I will say this: if the Raiders do trade back, 3 guys you want to look at Mike Hughes, Isaiah Oliver, and Jair Alexander. Those 2 guys, I did watch film on them today. I was pretty impressed with Jair Alexander, but he had some injury concerns. And as you know, if you mention a first rounder with injury concerns, Raider fans go crazy. So I just want to say that he's if you look at his 2016 tape, he's pretty good. But again, with that injury history, people are going to wonder if he's durable enough to handle an outside or inside position with on the professional level.
Well, I like Oliver too, and in that you mentioned Jair Alexander, he's a guy that I've been saying because of his injury concern could slip into that second round and might be a great pick for us there at number 2. Or in the second round, I should say, which would be the 9th pick. I mean, I know he's first-round talent, but because of those injury concerns and because the way this draft is shaping up, it appears to be loaded with talent. This seems to be a loaded draft. Now, when it all washes out, it probably won't be as loaded as it seems right now.
Right.
But, that being said, he's a guy that could get pushed out into the second round. I don't know. But if he does, I'm going to take Jair Alexander all day at pick number 9 in the second. I think that would be a steal right there, honestly. But, Mike Hughes, Isaiah Oliver, not too shabby if we do pick back. If we do stay put at number 10, who's your pick, Moton?
Gotta be Mo Hurst. Not because his name is Maurice, as some people pointed out on Twitter.
Don't even lie,
but but I will say Maurices are pretty good in sports. They're pretty athletic people, but I won't even, get into that. In my days, I was a pretty good 2-sport athlete, basketball and football. We would just sneak that in there. But anyway, back to Maurice Hurst. I know a lot of people, the elephant in the room is heart condition. But as you already know, he was cleared to attend his pro day and participate in that. He went to, I believe, 2 separate doctors that had a battery of exams that he was fine. I tweeted this earlier, I believe yesterday, and I said he already knew he had a heart issue from a previous EKG when he was a freshman at Michigan. So it's not like this came up as a surprise. He knew he had this, and he played 3 years as a starter without missing a game because of his heart issue. So I'm not as worried as many other people are. But the way I look at it is the Raiders need a guy like Mo Hurst because he's a type of 3-technique defensive tackle that can get a quick jump off the line and put pressure on the quarterback. And the idea is to get those triple-double teams off of Khalil Mack. This is why Bruce Irvin is going to be more of a pass rusher this year. You want guys on that line who are going to take attention away from Mack so he can be great. I mean, he's already great, but even greater than he is now. Can you imagine if Mac is racking up, I don't know, 18, 20 sacks a game because he doesn't have triple teams and guys hanging off his shoulder pads on every snap? That's because you're going to have guys like Bruce Irvin and hopefully, as I would say, Maurice Hurst playing in the middle. Now, again, people are going to say, well, we like Vita Vea, and I watched his tape, and he's pretty impressive, but Vita Vea doesn't have the technique with his hands that Mo Hurst has.
No.
Again, Mo Hurst still has the quickness off the line. There's one thing that I didn't like about Mo Hurst is that he gets low, he lowers his head, and sometimes he loses track of the play. Like, I'm not just going to be a fan for Mo Hurst and say he has no flaws. He's definitely sick. No, there's no perfect player in this draft. I understand no player in this draft is perfect. Mo Hurst has that about him. He needs to keep his head up so he can see the play, especially if it's a halfback draw. He needs to see the halfback coming at him if they decide to run straight up the middle. Keep his head up and tackle, he'll be fine. But other than that, I believe he should be the pick for the Raiders to fill that DT spot next to Justin Ellis, who we know is not a pass rusher.
Right.
So I think that's going to be important for the Raiders to get a guy in there in the middle so that not only can you stop the run, but you can get the quarterback on his heels and maybe chase them out to Bruce Irvin, maybe chase them out to Khalil Mack and get those sacks.
That's an interesting take right there. You know, I was kind of wondering if, given the fact that he already knew he had the heart issues and then he got cleared, is it still enough of a red flag for Hurst to fall? It might be, but I still don't think he falls beyond the first round. But you're absolutely right on Vea. I mean, he's pretty much a bull rush dude. That's what I've seen on him. I was pretty hype when I first saw his highlight film. Then I started watching game clips, and I said, you know what? This guy doesn't dominate from the first to the fourth, and he's a bull rush guy. The guys that have little technique like Vea, but look really strong against NCAA offensive linemen, to me, that's a red flag because you're going to get to the NFL and you're going to go up against these monsters, and you're going to see a fall off in productivity. I mean, I think Vea can still be a force in the NFL, but he's not going to be the guy that you're seeing in these highlight tapes coming out of college. It's going to be a very different animal, I think, once he lands in the program, at least at first. You know, if he bulks up and continues to prove his strength and learn some technique, he can get there. But I agree with you. I think Mo Hurst is more of a three-tech type of guy that we need there in the middle. So that'd be interesting, you know. Not only does he remove the double and triple teams, but quarterbacks trying to step up into the pocket to evade Urban and Mack, you know, they get a nice welcome surprise when they do.
Right. And just to echo what you were saying, that's one of the things that I picked up is when you go to the NFL, a lot of those guards are strong. I know Vea is about 350, but a lot of those guys on a professional level, they're all lifting weights. They're all in high-priced facilities getting stronger. So a bull rush is not going to be something that you're going to be like, all right, as long as he's not the bull rush, then we're fine. But Mo Hurst is like, okay, we got to worry about the quick step. We got to worry about him making his body skinny and slipping through blocks. We have to also worry about his power. You know, there are multiple things. When you're an interior pass rusher and you have a tool chest of things, of counters and moves, you're more dangerous than if you have just one trick or two tricks to get to the quarterback. And I think Mo Hurst has a little bit more that he can use to get to the quarterback and pressure the pocket than Vea.
Right. Absolutely. Shay's got a question for you.
Yeah. So obviously we recently released Crabtree, who is arguably our best receiver over the past 3 seasons, leading us in touchdowns during that time. And as you stated, fifth amongst all receivers in the NFL during that time in TDs. We replaced him with Reggie Nelson, who has been successful in the past. He also has arguably the best quarterback during that time in the NFL. My question to you is, your gut feeling, who has the better season, this upcoming season?
Between Nelson and Crabtree, correct?
Yes.
It's going to be Crabtree by default, because he's going to be the number one in Baltimore.
Right.
Mike Wallace is now with Philly. Rashad Perryman hasn't panned out. The Ravens will probably draft a wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up with Calvin Ridley, but he's going to be a rookie. Their go-to guy is going to be Crabtree. He's going to rack up the touchdowns as we've seen with the Raiders. Jordy Nelson is going to be number 2 to Amari Cooper. John Gruden seems to love Amari Cooper. As we've seen, it's kind of been kind of iffy. If you ask the fans, some fans are like, I believe Amari Cooper, and some fans are like, he's soft. He has no hands. You know, like,
right.
Give him a chance. The guy's still young, but he's going to be the focal point of this offense. John Gruden has said that himself, that this is going to be, the focal point is going to be on Amari Cooper. I think he brought in Jordy Nelson more so to, I guess, quell the locker room tension that the Raiders had last year. And I think a lot of these veterans are coming in to change the locker room chemistry. But Jordy Nelson is going to give you some production. I mean, let's not get it twisted here. He had 482 receiving yards last year, but he had Brett Hundley throwing him the football for more than half the season.
Right.
Let's not forget that. People are saying, well, he had that ACL injury and blah, blah, blah. Well, he came back from that ACL injury in 2016 and had 1,257 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns.
There you go.
So, I mean, give him a real quarterback and he'll produce. He's not, again, his numbers are not going to match up to Crabtree's. I don't think the gap's going to be that wide between the two guys. But I think you're still going to get a lot of touchdown catches from Jordy Nelson. He'll be fairly decent. I see him getting 1,000 yards and about 10 touchdowns somewhere around that marker.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
So Mo, we kind of had a little dialogue going on Twitter earlier. You said you were going to come on here to drop 16 bars. So
oh yeah,
give it to me, man. Give me your best 16 bars right now.
That's not gonna happen, man. I didn't prepare for that, man. I didn't know we were gonna go Tigger in the basement or Rat City. If I knew that. If I knew that, I would have studied up on some Jay-Z lines and gave you a nice mix or something like that, you know? I can come back and give you a few, but
5 fingers of death. Come on now. All right, Mo. I'm gonna let you off the hook. Next time, maybe a little something. But maybe Mo and I square off a little friendly podcast
battle, a little freestyle battle.
I'm just playing, Mo.
Hey man, I'm a big fan of freestyle rap battling. So I listen to High Low the Dawn, I listen to Murder Mook, I listen to Loaded Lux, I listen to those guys. So I don't think you want to go there with me with a rap battle.
You like Smack better than King of the Dot, I take it.
Yeah, I'm more of a Smack guy.
Yeah.
I've been watching Smack for nearly a decade, so that's my lane right there.
Yeah, Dot's trying to push Head Ice right now, who I think is a better fit on Smack. I like Head Ice. I think he's better on URL. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the battle scene too. Actually, my good friend, I don't know if you know Thesaurus, 2-time battle rap champion. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He was right here in our backyard. Great guy. But this is not a rap battle podcast.
I'll tell you this real quick. When I'm writing an article, and I tell this to people all the time, when I'm writing an article, I feel like a rap artist when I'm writing an article because it all comes off the top of my head. I don't sit here and write an outline. I just sit down and I just write, and it all comes out like as one big freestyle.
Bars.
Of course, I get to edit it, but it's just straight bars. It's straight off the top of my head. So. Again, if you're gonna battle me in the 3-16 battle, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, however you want to go, I think you want to second guess that before you hop in the ring.
All right.
Like
Damn, shots fired.
I like it.
You know what my pet peeve is now the new thing is artists saying they're doing a freestyle when it's obviously a written 16 bars just to a different beat. That's not a freestyle, dog.
No,
that's not a freestyle.
I mean. The last guy that I've seen really freestyle his whole battle was probably Sirius Jones. I don't know if you heard of him, but Sirius Jones was pretty.
He can come off
the
top.
He was pretty good at. He was pretty, and you could tell his was off the top. And I enjoyed his rap battles, even though he's not really doing it anymore. But when he was battling Murder Mook and those guys, and he was on another, I think, Fight Club. That's way back when.
Yeah,
he was pretty good. He was pretty good at that.
Yeah, Hollow too. Hollow can come off the top too. He's good at that. But let's segue. Before we get you off the air here, it sounds like you know a bit about hip hop. Give me your top 5 MCs still alive today.
Oh man, you put me on the spot again, man.
Come on, freestyle, Mo.
We're giving you some leeway. There's 5 of them, man. 5 of them.
5. Give me your top 5 right now. I know that this could change tomorrow, so you don't have to. This ain't Bible. This ain't gospel. Top 5 that are still alive today. I gotta take Biggie off the board. I'm gonna take Pac off the board. Give me your top 5 still alive today.
We still counting Jay because he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. He's alive. Yeah, last album was fire.
Gotta have Jay. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased, but gotta have Jay and Nas up there. Kids, Fab, and my 5th guy. That's a tough one. My 5th one,
Fifth
but
one's always a tough one, man.
Geechee Sway.
My fifth one, I'm gonna go Beanie Siegel because I used to listen to a lot of Beanie, but
Okay.
that
Fair enough.
was my guy back in the day. Of course, it's a heavy Rockefeller influence, but I'm being from Brooklyn where I'm at. It's like this is like Jay-Z land, so everything is Rockefeller here. Even though it's kind of blasphemous that I'm saying I'm putting Nas up there because they had their little beef, but I give respect to Nas. He was doing his thing, and he's probably he is one of my top five, obviously. But
I'm shocked KRS-One or Fat Joe didn't crack your top five being out there on the East Coast.
no, that's not gonna happen. I mean, I mean now, if you ask a kid now that's growing up now, they will probably say, "Well, Tekashi 6ix9ine is pretty high."
Oh man,
That's why I don't. Yeah,
I'm not putting. I'm not putting a rainbow hair kid in my top five. That's just not gonna happen.
I got Kendrick in my top five for contemporary artists right now. I think Kendrick is in my top five all time. The kid's that good.
Yeah, I went old school.
Yeah.
I went old school.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I got
old school's good, man.
Yeah.
I got to go Rakim, Kendrick Lamar, Chuck D, and
oh man, you real quick. I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but you. Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm 31 years old. You must be about a decade or more older than me.
I'm
just
40.
by your list.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm 40.
I'm on point. Okay, there you go.
I look about 32.
There you go.
But I'm 40. Yeah, I got those three up there, and then I had a hard time rounding out the top of that list.
Yeah.
I want to put KRS-One there, but for political reasons, I just can't. I'm not a big fan of the whole temple, the hip hop thing. I might have to put Ice Cube on there for the West Coast. I wanted to put the DOC, but he only put out one album. But in my opinion, the DOC is the best of all worlds. He has East Coast sensibility. He's got a West Coast gangster flair, even though he never murdered a single person on his record. And the dude can spit like Rakim. So maybe I just got to put the DOC in there just on that one record alone. And then you have Black Thought up there from Philadelphia.
I like Black Thought, man. I like Black Thought. I like Mos Def.
Yeah.
Black Thought had like a 15-minute freestyle. That was crazy what he did. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I have Black Thought. I have Mos Def. I have Rakim also, just because he's really thought of as like the godfather of contemporary rap, right? What you said.
Yeah. You know what my fifth is? Who I did not put in there? I couldn't think of. It's got to be CeeLo Green, dog.
CeeLo Green.
If you go all the way back, the Soul Food album, his verse on Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something on the first Outkast record, all the way up until now, the fact that he can sing the way he does and the way that he writes when he really puts his pen to it, CeeLo Green, overlooked, man.
For sure.
Overlooked.
But now that you just said that, you just brought up Andre 3000, and that might have to go in there too.
Andre's up there, but he just got a little too wild for me, dog. I thought he was a better MC over Big Boy, but then in the end, Big Boy persevered. I said, no, I got to give it to Big Boy.
Yeah.
Because the one Outkast song that's going to live on forever is I Like the Way You Move. Is the ultimate now dance party hit Outkast song.
It is.
It's not their best song.
Is.
I'm not saying
no,
that.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But as far as like the song you're going to hear at a wedding from now until forever.
Oh, forever.
It's going to be that song.
Forever.
Oh, yeah. Or one of those R. Kelly songs. As an alternative. Of course, he's not hip-hop, but
the
you're gonna
Steppers game, man.
hear
The Steppers game.
Yeah.
Listening to your top five, I don't feel too old. Listen to my 1990s rap now. Listen to
There
your
you go.
top
There
five.
you go. There you go.
What?
I feel a little bit better now.
I could
a little
give
bit
you some
better now.
90s names, man, because I mean, I never stopped listening to rap music. It's just, there's just cats like the Rakim changed the game.
Yeah.
Guys were rapping way different before Rakim came along.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
It was just bar for bar, It was guys rapped just like this until Rakim grabbed the mic and started to spit. Everything sounded like that.
Yep.
I remember that. Run DMC is the one that got me to turn my head, just because all my family listened to rock music, and when Walk This Way came on the rock station, I was like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Right.
And it was rap from that point on. And in the 90s, I listened to a lot of gangster rap out here on the West Coast.
Of course.
So at that time, I liked a lot of that music, but I wouldn't consider any of those guys the greatest of all time. Like I put Cube up there, and I think earlier when we were talking, instead of Cube, I had someone else up there. Oh, the Jizza. I had the Jizza on there. I had the Jizza on there.
Yeah, Jizza up there. Yeah.
But anyways.
So when KRS-One and Nelly had that beef, you were like, who is this St. Louis rapping, grammar rapping dude challenging my rap idol.
Mo thinks I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Mo, I was on stage in the 90s, dog. I knew who Nelly was. Nelly was a buster, in my opinion. Nelly was top 40 rap. The way you feel about this, the rainbow-haired rappers, is how I felt about Nelly in the 90s. In the 90s, I was listening to groups like Hieroglyphics, Black Alicious. I was listening to Esoteric. I was listening to Apathy. I was listening to like Atmosphere, Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was listening to all that in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, I've always hung with hip hop. I haven't missed a decade, Mo. I haven't missed a decade, Mo.
You got that. I'll give you that.
All right.
I'll give you that.
This guy's trying to make me. I hurt my back on Tuesday. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. My doctor prescribed Icy Hot, and I was like, damn, this is an old man shit right here.
Throw your back out, man.
I was looking at my counter. I was like, damn, this is some old man shit popping off right here.
I'm not trying to bang on anything older old people because I hear it enough with the Raiders signings that you guys are getting too old. So I get it. Not that old, man. Not that old. Someone tweeted this and it was like, it's funny how they're saying 33, 32-year-olds are like old people in football. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here 31 years old. I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Right,
like,
right.
What do you mean?
Well, that's a beautiful that's a beautiful thing about not being a professional athlete. Off the field, you're still young, man. You're still young, right?
All right, Mo. It's been a hell of a ride, man. You gonna come back on the air with us again sometime?
Of course. I mean, you guys are fun. Why not? I mean, it's like I was saying before. It's long overdue to begin with. I know I'm a busy guy, but I have time. When I have time, I'll hop on with you guys and talk hip hop, talk ball, whatever you guys want to talk. I'm here.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Mo.
Of course, man.
Hold it down out there in the BK, Mo.
Got y'all, man. I got y'all.
All right. Go Raiders, man.
Go Raiders. Go a little bit of Jets. I'll just put that out there. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, bro.
Like,
people just threw their phones out, man. They just threw their phones out right now.
Go a little bit of Jets. That's your hot take. Go a little bit of Jets, Mo.
Your fans are like, cut his line right now. He just crossed the line. He just said go Jets. Get him off the air.
You said go a little bit of Jets. I don't even know what to make of that. Fuck out of here, Mo.
I gotta rep my hometown a little bit, man. Just a little bit.
Okay. You do you, Mo.
Hey, man, just know this. If the Jets and Raiders go at it, I'm all Raiders. Just know that.
All right. Then you get the pass now.
All right.
Just leave it on a positive note.
There you go.
All right. Keep it stepping, Mo. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Same here,
All right, man.
Peace.
All right. Peace.
Sorry for you non-hip hop fans out there if we might have lost you during that.
What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, but Che, me, Mo, passionate about this.
Hell yeah.
Hip hop's a way of life, bro.
It is a way of
It's
life.
culture.
Man.
It's not a music.
Hell yeah.
So, hell of a first segment there. That went longer than I
good
thought,
stuff.
and I'm not mad at it.
No, why? Why should we be?
I'm very happy when it goes longer than
Yeah.
that. That's what she said.
That
was I saw you. I read your mind right there. Stole your thunder. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna listen to your phone calls, come back, react, and the return of Cain's Corner this week.
Oh yeah, bringing the heat.
He's fired up.
Yeah, he's fired up.
A little pre-production meeting. He's fired up.
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready, man.
Let's get out of here.
Peace.
What is up, Raider Nation? This is the J-Town Raider. I am a first-time caller, and I just found the Pillaging podcast, so I am ready to join this new community and meet some new guys. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and to be honest, I just have one take for you. And with Gruden going back to 98, I just think what he's talking about is he's going to go back to the winning Raider culture. I don't think he's going back to his old offense. I think people are overreacting when it comes to Gruden trying to implement an old school feel. I feel like with the amount of film he has watched, the amount of information he's gathered, that he is going to be a new hybrid offense of maybe the 98 offense, but mixed in with some new looks, modern looks. That's all I have to say, and it's nice to meet you guys.
Hey Kenny, Jay, fellow Pillagers. This is Heathen Raider in Massachusetts. I love the show. I listen every week, but the reason I called is to talk about the Raiders signing so far. I think they've done good, patching up holes with the little cap space they had. Now they can draft the best talent available throughout the draft. I think that's the best way to build a team. I also wanted to say that I believe in Gruden, and I hope we dethrone these damn Patriots. I am so sick of watching them win every year. Hopefully it's also top AFC from here on out. Anyway, bye.
Dudes, what if Podunk Raider told you that our offense will be improved even without Alawale and Patterson and Crabtree? Would that blow your mind? Trust Gruden, trust the process. Downing and Tice aren't here anymore. It's going to be a whole lot better. We're going to have an offense that's explosive, that'll make plays, score points, and win ball games. Trust Gruden. He's here for a long time. He knows the guys he's looking for, and we don't. That's it.
Bienvenido a Miami, Raider Nation. This is your boy, 303 Raider, calling from beautiful, gorgeous, sexy South Beach, Miami. Reporting for duty. I will say this. I'm on spring break with the family, and we went to the Heat versus Cavs games on Tuesday night, and guess who was there? Courtside. Yes, your boy, number 52, Khalil Mack. I think the security wanted to kick me out because I was screaming his name like 1,000 times. But yes, Raider Nation is represented well in South Beach. As far as my thoughts on the signings of Reggie Nelson, I don't know about that. He was the worst defender on the field last year. Leon Hall, don't know much about him, but here's the thing. I'm over trying to come up with a conclusion on it. I'm going to wait and see, and I trust Gruden. He wants vets to show the young guys how to play. His biggest issue is that young guys don't get time to practice, so we need vets. And who knows, half of these guys might not even be here come starting day, so everyone getting in, a tissel fit or whatever is wasting their time. Well, let's see what happens during training camp, see how the draft goes. Otherwise, stop crying, Raider Nation. Relax and enjoy yourself. This is 303 and I'm out.
What's going on, Kenny? What's going on, Pillagers? This is Gent. Just wanted to share a little story with you. I go to the grocery store every day. I find it's cheaper that way to buy meals to meal, but that's neither here nor there. The reason why I say I went to the store the other day is because out here in Kansas City, a Raider fan that I see in the neighborhood, we talk all the time. He was kind of worried about the moves that the Raiders have made with the signing of these older veterans and who we were necessarily signing. And I had to let him know, man, you can't just listen to the media and base your opinion off somebody else's opinion. So, fellow Raider fans, if you're worried about the decisions Coach Gruden and his staff are making, I would say, again, relax. Oh, and Stone Cold Honky, bro, I was so glad that you wasn't real coming from Kansas City because I was going to find you, bro. So, luckily you're getting thrown down the stairs by your cousin instead of found out here in Raider Nation in Kansas City with that bullshit.
What up? It's Plunk. So, Reggie Nelson, Leon Hall, man, I don't know. And some of these free agent signings, man, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and pray that Gruden knows what the hell he's doing. Go Raiders.
Yo, this is Friskies, a.k.a. Norco Rob, 1957, and I have just this for you tonight. Touchdown Raiders!
And we're back. Back on the air.
Oh, yeah. 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 Cha. Cha. Ow.
Listen to some of your calls, quite a bit of calls. Thank you guys for calling in. Some hot takes, some cold takes. Let's start off with J-Town Raider. Brand new caller, brand new listener. Welcome to the show, J-Town.
We appreciate it, man.
We do. You're right, man. A lot of these comments were nitpicked and blown out of proportion by the media. All Gruden means is he's taking it back to hard-nosed football. Analytics, yeah, we got those. Raiders got a pretty good analytics team from what I understand. Our boy Chase, a part of that team.
There you go.
And what Gruden's talking about is bringing in these vets, hard-nosed guys that know how to grind out practices and training camps, understand scheme, know what it means to work hard, and pairing them with young guys that need the mentorship and need the competition, need to get pushed.
Yep.
And he's just a big film guy. The eye tested everything for John Gruden. That's where I feel comfortable with this free agency offseason is because, yeah, we got lower-tier guys, we got value guys, but we got guys that you have to imagine that Gruden's actually seen on tape 1,000 times. And so he knows what we're getting with the money that we're spending. So I think that's what Gruden's talking about, is just really bringing it back to pure football and competition.
Yeah.
Lunch pail guys.
Lunch pail guys.
Yeah.
Low technology guys.
Yeah.
Not putting in the hard work, pencil and fucking paper, man.
That's it. Not necessarily guys that were still playing in 1998.
That's it. Exactly.
Although some of them are close candidates. Cold-ass take from Podunk.
Cold-ass.
Ice cold.
Ice cold.
Sorry, Podunk. I got to kind of put this on blast a little bit. Olawale barely played last year.
Yeah.
Patterson was not a part of this offense.
Nope.
Was never really intended to be quite honest with you. Stepped in when we were shorthanded at wide receiver. I watched every single snap he took over the offseason. I was going to write a piece about it. Turns out there was nothing to write about. The guy runs curl routes. He runs drag routes. End of story. Crab, 5 drops over 50 receptions last year. Something like that. That was like the ratio. Down year for Crabtree.
Yeah.
As Mo said, as you said, Shay.
Yeah.
Crab's probably going to have a better season this year.
Yeah.
So I agree with that part of the take. Is it going to be a more explosive offense? It should be. You got John Gruden as your head coach. That's what he was brought in here for.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying I don't appreciate your call, Podunk. I think you're a smart fan. I think you watch the game very closely. I know you study college football too. I appreciate your takes. But just the other day, in fact, I think it was today, you were saying Reggie Nelson was one of the top playmakers on this defense. Call back, defend that take, because that's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
Bro, that's one of the hottest takes.
I'm burning over here.
It's hot.
I'm burning with anger, man.
I thought
How
it was.
dare you say something like that?
I thought it was the weather making the studio hot. It was a damn comment on the blog that you made. But I can also. I'm not just trying to talk shit either. I can kind of see where you're coming from. But I want you to call back and defend that take because there is some truth in there.
Yeah.
I want to hear where you're coming from.
Hell yeah.
In all seriousness. Gent, man. Gent, another great call. He's on a roll lately.
Hell yeah. That's the best call yet, man.
What was your take on that?
My take is, hell yeah, Gent. I'm glad that you got that angry because I was feeling the exact same way. I was like, I'm going to have to book a flight to Kansas City now and find this motherfucker.
Yeah, Ice Cold Honky. You won't find him in KC. I believe he lives out in South Carolina. But Jen, you're just as much fam.
Oh, you just put the target on South Carolina now.
Yeah.
And now the radar is out. It's sweeping South Carolina for Ice Cold Honky. We're gonna get a hit eventually. It might have been a joke, but it's not funny to me, bitch.
Well, I'm going to fuse these last two calls, Gent and Plunk. Plunk, man, just go back and listen to Gent's take. I mean, that's the answer for you right there. I know you just found out about the Reggie Nelson signing when I posted about it today. Yeah. Somehow that went over your head. You know why? It's because nobody wants to talk about it. That's why.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why you didn't hear about it. So, but just listen to Gent, man. Gent's right. You can't buy into everything the media's saying. There's more going on here than what people are led to believe. I know, and I'm guilty of this myself. Knee-jerk reactions are everything in the media, especially in sports, right? Not to mention politics and all that other stuff. But Gent's right, man. There's more stuff going on here at play, and Gent's really good. You know, Gent can get you riled up. Gent can give you a hot take.
Oh, yeah.
Gent's been in my ear for a couple years now about Gruden, and it turns out he was right. He was in my ear about It turns out I was right. It was looking like a possibility for a minute, but it ended up not being that. But what I wanted to say about Gent, he's really good at stabilizing this pirate ship. He's really good about getting that wheel under control. Yeah. And so you're doing God's work out there in KC, gent. Common Raider fans everywhere, reassuring Raider fans everywhere. Because I'll tell you what, Jim might call in, he might be fired up, but he's got a high football IQ. Man knows what he talks about. There's not a lot of people that's dialed in to Raiders football as gent in my atmosphere, my sphere, my circle. Gents up there, man. So we appreciate that call. He's the anchor on this ship right now.
Yeah, and like you said, just relax. Just relax, yo.
Just chill out.
Yeah.
Plunk, we appreciate you. Podunk, we appreciate you. J-Town, thanks for calling in. Was it a Heathen Raider? Was that what it was? Yeah, another new caller. We appreciate all the calls, man. I like
everybody.
Hearing the new voices, the consistent voices. And 303, man, just watch yourself. Don't get kicked out by security. We need you around. Enjoy yourself in Miami. I don't want you to get banned from South Beach. But that's pretty cool. Khalil Mack was out there, man.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
I wonder if he maybe got a head nod or maybe got Matt to turn around or something. That'd be kind of cool.
LeBron James was like, who? What? What? I'm the star of the show.
But man, I can't fault you, bro. I'd be doing the same thing out there, and that's good. If Mac didn't hear you, I know your section did, and you're out there repping the nation, and that's what you're supposed to do. So good on you, 303.
Hell
You keep repping Raider Nation everywhere you go, and you've been traveling a lot lately, bro. So rep that. I know 303 wears his Raiders gear everywhere he goes too. So
the only way it should be done. Raider fans.
I have Raider gear, but I when I travel, I rock my Raider gear like the day I fly in and the day I fly out for show, because you're going to see me in the airport.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
you're going to know me.
You're going to know who I am
hell
and where I'm coming from.
You best ask somebody.
If you don't know. But the other reason is it's not just to rile up people from other towns. That's not the main reason why. It's to pull those other Raider fans out the woodwork.
Hell yeah.
Because when I'm in Albuquerque and I'm flying in and I got my Raiders jacket on, and dude that's taking the tickets is telling me I live in New Mexico, but I'm a Raiders season ticket holder.
There you go.
And I fly out for every home game.
That's dope.
Those are the kind of conversations that happen.
Hell yeah.
And that's what you want.
And everywhere you go, man, you fly into the airport, you're walking, whether it's the guy that's taking your ticket when you're going to get in on the plane, it's the stewardess on the plane. If you got on some Raiders gear, somebody eventually is going to be like, go Raiders.
Exactly.
You right?
Yeah.
The hell yeah.
It's the largest fraternity in the United States.
Hell yeah.
Maybe
Hands
the
down.
world. Maybe the
Hands
world.
down.
Hands down. And even on Twitter today, we had some new followers, some new people chime in. Then you get their shout out to the end of the show, and they were all chiming in where they're from. Not a single one of them was from California. And that's the true meaning of nation. Imitators, you're on notice.
Yeah.
There ain't no Steeler Nation.
Hell no.
None of that.
Get out of here with that shit.
Raider Nation.
There's one nation.
Raider Nation.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Big member of Raider Nation, Raider Cain.
Yeah.
Making his return to the show this week. We missed his presence last week.
Yeah, we did.
With all those signings and whatnot. We missed him. But we got a week off, and he got a week off. He got 2 weeks off.
He did. He got 2 weeks off.
But that was also miscommunication on our part. So we're glad to have Cain back on the air this week. We're going to get off the air right now real quick. I'm going to get him on the horn, and we're going to jump on. I'll see you in 2 and 2, like Chuck Woolery.
The love connection.
How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget, we was on Scramble too, right?
Oh, shit. What
was
Scramble?
No, what was the name of that show? What was that word show that he did? Password.
Oh, okay.
I think he was on Password. That's
I was
what
all
it was.
about that love connection, though. Man.
Yeah, the love
that was a dope ass show.
So all right, we'll take a short break and we'll see you guys on the other side. We out
here. Peace.
All right, we're back with Cain's Corner, sponsored every week by NFLShop.com. Make sure you go to PJ4F.com, click through the banner. Anything you buy, we get a little piece of the pie. Keep this pirate ship on the water. You got a song in you, Che?
We finally got a piece of the pie.
You always got a song in you. So the return.
Kids don't fry in the kitchen. Things ain't burn on the grill.
Hell yeah.
What's up, fellas? It's been too long, man. What's happening?
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. Welcome back, Cain.
Yeah.
Let's pillage another podcast, like my boy Kenny say.
Let's do it.
It's time to pillage another podcast.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do this.
Cain's fired up. He's out the gate right now. There's a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot to catch up on. We're gonna double back to last week's free agent signings. We're gonna cover all of that right now and then some. Let me just ask you out the gate, Cain. Who's your favorite free agent signing so far? I know it's slim pickings, but if you got to go with one, who's the biggest impact player out of this group?
Wow. And I've been real negative, too, but I'm going to have to say, talent-wise, Jordy Nelson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talent-wise, Jordy Nelson. I mean, if you picked him you think he's going to replace, Crabtree. My boy, number 15, you know what I'm saying? The man that's been leading the pack for the last 2 years. If you picked him to replace that man, then he better produce. And so far as the numbers concerned and what he can produce, I think he can bring a lot to the table. So I'm gonna have to say Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, so let's move right from there into your take on Crabtree. I know you're a big Crabtree fan. I know you had the jersey from the jump. You rep it hard at the home games. So what are your thoughts on this, man? What out of all the cuts the Raiders let go, what are the ones that are going to come back to bite us in the ass?
Oh, man, I'm going to have to say Crabtree is the one because we play the Ravens.
Yep.
We play them in Baltimore. And you know my boy Crabtree, he going to be on Akeem Talil style, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like against Gary and Conley, that's going to be a good matchup, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think Gary can shut him down. That's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my boy. But I'm a Raider fan first, though. You know what I'm saying? And I think Gary can shut him down. I'm looking forward to that matchup.
That's going to be a hell of a matchup. What if Conley snatches that chain, though?
Hey, that'll be the start to a new rival.
That would be
you know what I'm saying? Hey,
that would be dope.
We seem to play the Ravens every year like we went through a stretch of playing the Jets for a long time. We seem to be playing the Ravens a lot.
We do.
So
yeah.
So we might play them again next year too in 2019. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it started, Conley. Are you listening? Let's get it started.
Hell yeah.
Let's start that.
Hell yeah.
Fire question, Che.
Yeah.
This man's fired up. He wants more questions.
Fired up. Got another question for you, Cain. All right. Obviously, we didn't make a big splash on the offensive side, and specifically with our offensive line. We got a guy by the name of Breno. What's his last name?
Giacomini.
Giacomini. There you go. That being said, who?
I can tell y'all already been laughing about some shit. All right, let's do this.
Who, in your opinion, Cain? All right, who is our starting right tackle this upcoming season, man?
That's a tough question.
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I'm gonna say Sharp. Sharp is going. You know what? And if he don't, then that's not good.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna say Sharp is the right tackle with Alexander coming in a close second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? Draft pick wise and all the moves we made as far as like drafting players and stuff, if that doesn't happen, that's not good.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got to think that a lot of chips are on Sharp this year. That position is definitely open for competition this year. It has been the last couple of years, but we've had penciled in starters going into it. This year, you can say there's not one.
Nope.
But I'm glad you said Sharp, Cain. I'm on that train too. I think Sharp shows some potential there. I think he needs to be rounded out a little bit. I saw plays, as you know, I did a write-up on him this offseason going into it. There's plays where he showed great potential, great strength, great poise, was able to set his feet, hold his position, but against faster pass rushers, dude was a turnstile. So if he can get it, be a little bit more fluid in the hips and set that edge a little bit better on the outside there and not get beat to the inside as well. I think Sharp, he's got the size, he's got the frame, and I think he's got the coachability because he seems to have the right attitude where he can be that guy because he might be the answer at left tackle going forward. Yeah. Then again, there's still plenty of time there, but that's a good question. That's a great ansher. David Sharp.
Definitely.
But you know what? I got to throw in also Jalen Ware. I think the Raiders, the GM and the coaching staff, well, it's the GM especially because the coaching staff ain't been there, but the GM is pretty high on this guy. So I think he's looking for him to kind of shine a little bit too. I mean, Donald Penn ain't getting no younger. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice to have a couple of these guys flourish.
Right.
Not just Sharp, but Alexander and Ware, as well. We need all these guys to step up because look, we ain't getting no younger. We done got older.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think, hey, John brought this competition in for these young guys to prove themselves. And that's where the last coaching regime, they didn't. I'm all for going young, but let's put somebody in front of you to kind of like, even when Charles Woodson was drafted, he was number 5 on the depth chart when he went into training camp. No one's ever just given your position. Yep. So definitely these young guys, the Sharps, the Alexanders, the Wares, and on the defensive side of the ball, you got some competition in here now. It may not be that good a competition, but if you can't beat the competition, then you don't deserve to be on this team.
Exactly.
Exactly, bro. You exactly. Not to cut you off, but exactly like the players that we brought in free agency, they aren't like shining lights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're just beacons to watch and go forward. And if you can't be that and watch that beacon of light and try to become better than that, then you don't deserve to be on this team because these players that they sign in free agency, they ain't all that good. They solid, but they're, if you're a young up and coming guy, you can be better than these guys. So hey, let's see what we do going forward. You know what I'm saying?
I like the mention of Jalen Ware there because the dude, depending on where you look, he's listed at 6'7", 6'8", about 295 pounds. He's got a year in the NFL now, so I'm imagining he's bulked up some. I don't know what his recent weight is. I'm looking at his draft profile from over a year ago. But if a guy like that, because he's athletic, he's movable, he's kind of one of those Al Davis dudes, but he's also definitely a Reggie McKenzie guy. Reggie McKenzie likes big, strong athletes, right? Country strong, as he always says. Yep. Ware definitely fits that bill. If he could figure out a way to get the technique to match up with his size and his prowess, he could be a problem. At that size.
Big problem.
Hell yeah.
Big problem. Yeah. And you know what? He could be better than Alexander. Like Sharp, to me, in my opinion, Sharp and Ware are the guys to look forward to. As Alexander is sort of like in the Feliciano type of like utility guy.
Right.
Somebody that's gonna be longevity and I can do everything. Right. But I can't do something just really good. Yeah. But I can do everything okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You need that. But this Sharp and the Ware, they looking for them to really stand out. So those guys, they got a shot at it. I mean, it's Brian Giacomini. I can't pronounce his last name.
Giacomini.
He's not exactly the shining star right tackle coming in. No. So, you got a chance to win that over.
He's similar to a guy like Reggie Nelson coming back, former PG guy, help install the system. Josh Johnson, drafted by John Gruden, is going to help install the system in camp. Giacomini, former Tom Cable guy, is going to help install that system as well and coach up these players on the field. Again, if he's a starting right tackle, that's a concern on many different levels because he was a straight-up turnstile last year. I believe it was in Houston.
Exactly. And I don't think they meant Marshall Newhouse to be a starter, bringing him in. I really don't. I think
No.
Reggie McKenzie kind of had that same vision that John is having right now. He kind of thought
good point.
one of these guys would beat Marshall Newhouse out. But we had injuries, and we had Donald Penn and his deal with holding out. So that kind of set back Sharp and Ware and Alexander, because they weren't able to battle for just one side of the field. Sharp had to try to play left tackle, and we all saw how that played out. So, let's see let's see what's going to happen this year with a set coaching staff, and let's just see what happens. I think at the end of the day, you're going to have Sharp on one side and Penn on the other. We hope. And if it's not like that, guys, we got a problem.
Got a problem.
So, we got a problem. Yeah.
And every time we check in with Kennedy, we ask him, is the right tackle on this roster? And he's like, nope. But hopefully it's Sharp, man, because we, young cat, invested in the future on him. Sharp and Ware could be your future bookend protection there. So let's move forward. I know you're real big on Denzel Ward. We talked to Moton about Ward. You wanted me to ask that question. I did. I think it was a great question. He is of the feeling that Ward is has enough clout that he won't be there at 10.
Whoa, really?
So
with all the quarterbacks going so early, really?
Yeah,
okay.
He feels like there's an outside chance that Cleveland actually picks up Denzel Ward at 4. But without getting into that, GM Cain, you're high on Denzel Ward. Pick number 10. He's off the board. Who do you go with now?
If I don't say what I'm gonna say right now, Twitter is gonna kill me. So I'm gonna say this right now. If Ward ain't there, and everybody y'all that's been tweeting and following me, you know what I'm finna say. You can just say it with me. If Ward is not there, then you trade back. And actually Buffalo done already traded up, so now that's not really even an option because they got the 12th pick now. So unless they want to just get greedy and kind of go up a little bit more, that will be an option. The Arizona Cardinals might want to trade up because they don't have a quarterback right now. So I'm looking at right now going back to 15. If Ward ain't there, I'm saying this, Twitter world, Pillaging podcast family, and everybody that's listening to me. If Ward is not there at number 10, trade back with Arizona if they are willing to trade back. They have to be a willing partner, obviously. But if they are, trade back to 15, and I think Taven Bryan, Vita Vea, okay, Mo Hurst, all right. If they are good as built, they won't be there at 15. They won't even be there at 10. So I'm looking at those guys not being there at that number. And if they are, draft them. But if not, take Taven Bryant, trade back and take Taven Bryan at number 15. I know that sounds like a reach for some of y'all, but to me, I watched this kid play at USC. He is like the Mario Edwards Jr. that you thought you was going to get.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So trade back and take this guy, get that extra pick, and, man, you got another second-round pick. You can get another second-round pick to go back from 10 to 15.
I got to take a closer look at Taven because you're the second person to bring his name up to me this week, and I got to admit he's not on my radar. I definitely got to go check him out now, especially if you're talking about it. Mo had Maurice Hurst. He had Maurice Hurst at 10. That was his pick. So definitely need that presence in the middle, man. And if I had to pick between Hurst and Vea, I got to pick Hurst. And I was high on Vea for a minute there, but after really thinking about it, really looking at it, really thinking about what we need and what's going to work at the NFL level, I'm not. I think someone's gonna draft him too high. That's my opinion.
Well, not only that, I
think so too. I agree with you, Kenny. I agree with you. Yeah. I think Mo Hurst, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I think Mo Hurst and Vea will be gone by 10. And I don't think the teams that's in the top 10, they ain't looking for defensive backs like everybody think they are. The teams are looking for quarterbacks and inside players that can play on the line, even a tackle might go early, and that sounds weird because there's not really that many good ones. Maybe one in the draft, he may go in the top 10. So if that's the case, you're gonna have a running back in the top 10, probably possibly 4 quarterbacks. So you're gonna say, okay, let's just say this: you got 10 picks, 4 quarterbacks, possibly 5. Let's just say a running back. Saquon Barkley, that's 6 players right there. Okay, now you got 4 players left. You're going to have a defensive tackle. If you value Mo Hurst and Vita Vea, they gone, right? So that's 8 picks. So now you got the Niners and the Raiders. What do they take? What do they do? You know what I'm saying? So do the Niners, do they value Ward? Do they want a defensive back? Or do they value a defensive tackle after Via and Hurst are gone?
Well, I'll tell you what. If Quentin Nelson is there at 9, the Niners got to pick him up because now they got to deal with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh twice a year minimum. I'm picking up Quentin Nelson if he's available. If I'm the GM of the 49ers.
Okay, so then there you go. Ward. I keep saying my guy is there at number 10. And if you're not running to the podium to draft this guy, as bad as y'all been needing defensive backs for all these years, I'm gonna be one pissed off Raider fan.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is, man.
Security's got to keep an eyeball on Cain this year at the draft because he might bum rush the podium his damn self.
hey, man, I might have to fly in on a kite, man.
Willie Brown's gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
I move over, Willie Brown. I'm young Woodson, baby. I'm here to take that spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to take your spot, baby. Shit,
That's dope. That'd be fucking dope. I hate to see Cain run up on stage.
That's Cain
and the Raiders tank.
I like it.
Get out of here with that shit.
I'm here to pillage another podcast, and I want to draft Denzel Ward at the number 10th pick while I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Running up there and fucking slapping a goddamn envelope out of Willie Brown's head. Get that shit out of here, Willie Brown.
Cain right up there. Denzel Ward, you been pillaged. Yeah, bitch. Out.
That'd be dope.
No, but seriously though, guys. If Ward ain't there, I'm with Taven. I'm on Taven Bryan. If not, draft out. If not, trade out of the first round because there's really nothing else left there that you can't get in the second, third, and fourth rounds.
Right.
So, yeah.
Not mad with the trade back this year. With as much talent as there seems to be, if you could bulk up on picks in the second round, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not a bad. We're already picking high up in that round, so if we trade back to the end of the first or the top of the second, get back-to-back picks close to, that's cool. That's a good spot to be in. But yeah, man.
Who else I'm high on too? Anthony Averett, cornerback, Alabama.
Yeah.
The other side of Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm just saying, he actually is the starting cornerback of that team. Minkah Fitzpatrick just kind of play everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But homeboy is the not. I'm getting the teams mixed up. But Anthony Averett is the guy on Alabama. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? And he could go early, in the late first, early second round. This cat ran a 4.40, 4.4 in the he might have ran fast as Ward. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this cat is good. Watch out for Anthony Averett.
Okay.
If we don't draft him, just watch out for him.
Gotcha.
The Rams might pick him up. The Rams been powerhouse. They might pick him up.
Rams are suddenly the most interesting team in football right now. Outside of the Raiders, we're always the most interesting team in football.
Outside of the Dos Equis guy.
The Rams though. All you Niner fans think you're going to Super Bowl.
Welcome back to the NFL, Cleveland. I've been wanting to say that for a long time. Welcome back to the NFL, Cleveland. You have become relevant again. Oh my God! And it's exciting because I look for competition. I don't want no easy wins.
Right.
No, I don't. I want somebody to come on, play me. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Play me, and we play y'all this year. So I hope y'all stack y'all shit right.
Yeah.
So we can come. So y'all coming with the funk and thunder this year, baby? Because I'm ready to see it. You know, Welcome back to the NFL, Hugh Jackson, and I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause for Hugh Jackson. You know, because hey man, hey, you know, once a Raider, always a Raider, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know? I like Hugh Jackson, man. It's hard not to like that guy. He's an entertaining dude. But I'm with you, man. I like when these old school teams get to relevant again. You know, I like it when the Jets are good. I like it when the Browns are good. I like it that the Steelers are good. I want to play the Steelers. I'm looking forward to that this year. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Let's go. I want to see the triple Bs because y'all finna see the triple Ds over here. You know? Shit, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. It's going to be a nice schedule this year. A lot of people said our schedule got easier. I don't think so. I said the offseason ain't even happened yet. And now you start to see things turn around.
All that's dependent on the season before that, and that doesn't dictate what the season ahead is.
No. Because now, you know.
I wish we played the Patriots this year. John Gruden, and we played the Patriots and Bill Belichick on a Sunday night football game in December in Foxborough with it snowing. Oh, we need that to happen again quick. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
We need to get that to happen again quick.
I'm pretty sure the NFL is going to make sure that happens every year from now on until Bill Belichick or John Gruden is not a part of either team.
It could happen in the playoffs this year. I'm just saying. If we make it there, you know my prediction. I don't think we're going to be there this year, but if we are, that's something you could see. You could see that. So,
and you know what's funny? These young Raider fans, the 20-year-old, the 26s, the 27s, what they don't know is when Al Davis, you know what I'm saying? When he interviewed to hire John Gruden, he interviewed Bill Belichick too.
Yep.
And his last two picks, he had to decide between Bill Belichick and John Gruden. And you know what's funny is we all kind of like, we should have got Bill Belichick. But some of us was like, no, let's go with the young, innovative mind of John Gruden because we all believed in Mr. Davis, you know what I'm saying, to the end of the day. So we kind of figured that he would go with John. Well, guess what? If we can play New England every year, like you said, Che, in a snowball fashion, that would be good for the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that shit got history. You know what I'm saying? It got history going back to more than like look, Al Davis tapped two of the best minds in the NFL, 10 years, $100 million, 6 Super Bowls. The two best coaches at least the one best coach in the NFL and somebody that we all hope to be the next one best coach in the NFL in John Gruden. So this was all thought out and sought out by the big man before they even became anybody. When Belichick was a Jet, he was nothing. When he coached with the Patriots, when he coached with the
Browns,
he was nobody. You know what I'm saying? And then he got interviewed, but Al saw something in him, and he saw something in John, and he interviewed those dudes, and now look. You know what I'm saying? One is six-time Super Bowl winner. The other one went on to win a Super Bowl, sat in the booth for 10 years, and now he's the highest paid coach in the NFL. So let's pay homage to Al Davis right now because the two, or at least the top coach in the NFL right now, and Bill Belichick, is a Patriot, but Al Davis saw him as one of the top coaches.
Yep.
You know, and the other guy he chose went on to win a Super Bowl against his team. So let's just say Al Davis is the man. And for everybody that just say, oh, he was old and stupid and made a lot of bad decisions, yeah, he did. But guess what? When he made those bad decisions, he still the coaches that's winning right now are the coaches that Al Davis thought could be winners for his team.
Right.
So pay homage to Mr. Davis right now. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So
absolutely. And I believe Belichick actually in the 11th hour pulled himself out of the running because as a defensive coach, he knew he wasn't going to be able to install his scheme with Al Davis, also a defensive-minded coach.
He's gone on
exactly.
record. He's gone on record to say
he didn't. I think he might have got the job. You know what? He might have even got the job. You're right. You're right, Kenny. You're 100% correct. Al might have picked him. Yep. You're right.
But the fact that he even had John Gruden in the conversation and had the confidence in giving a young cat a shot like that, I mean, that speaks to your point anyway. So regardless of what happened there at the very end, the fact that, you got the up-and-comer John Gruden and the up-and-comer Bill Belichick, Al Davis had an eye for it, man.
Hell yeah.
He had an eye for it.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely respect Al Davis. But, man, it was good to reconnect with you this week, man. It's good to have you back on the air. We missed your voice. We know our callers missed your voice. And it's the voice of reason.
Yeah. Always bringing the heat. Always bringing the heat.
Hey, I missed y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be back on, man. And I'm looking forward to once again, I'm looking forward to the draft show, man. I can't wait. This is going to be exciting. This year, this draft is just, it's enticing.
It's
deep.
It is.
Oh, man, it's deep. And we got the 10th pick, and we was not a really bad team. You know what I'm saying? Like, the coaching was sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we still got players on this team. So I'm excited. It's not like we the Jets or the Browns fans. I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like that. It's like we got hope. You know what I'm saying? A couple players here and there, a good draft. Man, who knows?
Plus, we're getting two potential starters from last year's draft. So
exactly,
it's it's bonus this year. So you should see a lot of new young talent on the field in 2018. Very exciting. Very exciting. And for our listeners, as you guys know, first day of the draft is April 26th. That's a Thursday. We record on a Thursday night.
Start the countdown.
The countdown's on pj4f.com. You can go over there. We do have a countdown on there. But just to let you guys know, we will be on air for that show. It'll be a live streaming show. We hope by then.
Oh, yeah.
It actually might be our first week of streaming live on YouTube. We won't be streaming during the draft itself. We'll be coming home from work around that time. But we will be on air with our hot reactions. Hot off the press. And, and then the week after, I believe we're going to have Austin Gale on to help us break down our brand new slate of draft picks, too. Nice. So we got you guys all set up, and I'm working on a special guest for that show. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm just going to wait and see on that. But anyways, put a pin in that for later.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to Moton for coming on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to Moton at Bleacher Report, man. Much love, much love.
Absolutely. Mo's in the family now. Once you come on the podcast, you're coming back. That's
it.
We get our hooks in you.
It's like, once a Raider, always a Raider. Once a Pillager, always a Pillager.
Always a Pillager, baby.
There we go.
That's right. Because we pillaging podcasts weekly.
There you go.
We pillaging podcasts till we die.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? There we go.
We pillage for life. But yeah, for sure. Well, all right, Cain. We'll let you get up out of here. We're gonna get at you next week, next Thursday, same time, same channel.
All right, my brothers. It's always good, and for all our new listeners, you can follow me at CainMT6 on Twitter. I look forward to any questions, any comments you might have. I'll holler at you, and I'll follow back. And my brothers. Hey, it's been a pleasure. I missed y'all last week, man, and we'll catch up next week.
Absolutely, man. It's all love. Go Raiders, brother.
Go Raiders.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. It's always good with Cain's on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, make sure you follow him too at CainMT6. He does follow back. He does retweet a lot. He's a good follow, man. He's a good person to know on Twitter. So good conversation. Always has interesting questions. See him fire questions at Vic and other reporters and stuff, and they answer back to him. He's got good questions, man. Cain's a good follow. You'll learn something following him. So at CainMT6 on Twitter for show. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to follow the Pillaging Podcast on Twitter. Also on IG, Instagram. And don't forget to download the Pillaging app.
The app. Go get yourself that app, man.
Available right now on for iOS for your Apple phone. Android. I have an Android phone. And I'm still waiting for that. But still going through the evaluation process with Google right now. I really don't know what's taking so long.
We're going to get it to you people.
That's it. The help ticket is in. I'm just waiting. But it's in the process. It's in the mix. It's all been submitted. Wait for it, as they say. It's time for I See You.
I see you.
This one comes from IR Johnny on the blog tonight. He says, "Hey, Kenny, we finally going to talk about Darius Geis tonight. Are we still cool with Washington being our only 2019 running back?" Laugh out loud. We'll talk a little bit about Geis right now. Is that how you say his name? Geis?
Geis?
Juice?
I think it's Geis. I think it's Geis, yeah.
LSU running back. Here's the thing. So Geis, I think he's like 5'10", 215 pounds, something like that. Similar numbers to Marshawn Lynch in that regard.
Yeah, and he actually looks up to Marshawn Lynch.
He
stated that. He said that that's the one running back that he likes to patent his game after. So he likes to, make the contact and run really low and yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's done a hell of a job with that, right? He's a violent runner. I'm reading his draft profiles. I'm watching the tape. He's tons of comparisons to Lynch. Had a down year last year. Last year was a spotlight year for him. After Fournette is gone, he's now the feature back.
Right.
Then he gets the ankle injury. Lacks the kind of boost and explosiveness that he's shown previously. So now the question mark is it was it the ankle injury, or was it the fact that he was not a spot back, that he was actually the spotlight back, right? He was not the spell back, right? Can he carry that kind of load and violence for a full 4 quarters?
Question.
It's a good question, right? Now, that said, there's still a lot of experts out there, experts, air quotes, experts, that have him as a top 10 pick, possibly. I am a pass on Geis at number 10. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a full slate of running backs in this draft. I don't think Geis is a lock to go in the first round. You can take both conversations we just had with Moton and with Cain, because there are more guys being projected to go in the first than there are picks in the first.
There you go.
I think we get a running back in the third round.
Okay.
I think a guy like Penny's going to be there in the third round. I wouldn't be mad at that pick. There's a few other guys I like. Cain mentioned Kerryon Johnson. I like him. I don't know. He's got the speed for the NFL. There's a few other guys that are going to fall further, guys you haven't heard of. We're going to talk about that coming up. But what are your thoughts on Geis? Is he a guy that you take in the top 10, a running back? Now, no.
No, I don't take Geis in the top 10. I don't take him with a 10 pick. I don't.
Right.
I think like you said, you look to see if he's there in second, possibly third. There's a lot of running back talent. You got Sony Michel out there. You got also the other running back that went alongside Sony Michel. Nick Chubb is there too. He's a big bruiser too, right? There's a lot of running back talent, man. So I don't think you waste that pick. And I'm sorry to put it like that, guys. If you listen to the Raiders to our podcast,
well, if he's listening now,
right?
it's a lock.
Sorry to tell you that, but to me it would be a waste. Outside of Saquon Barkley, which you're not high on, you wouldn't take him.
No.
But outside of him, I don't think you waste that 10 pick on a running back.
Yeah.
I think you take a defensive tackle, you take a cornerback, you take a linebacker, and then you see what's still around in the second or third round, or as Cain just mentioned, you trade back, and try to double up,
maybe get him there, get him later in the round. But at 10, I think it's a no, man. Here's the thing, though. Here's the curveball. John Gruden today, I read the quote today. It came out sometime this week, might have been today. But he was, and keep in mind, Stephen Michael said last week, it could shock us all, and Gruden can go offense in the first round because they're paying him 10 years, $100 million. Don't think he has doesn't have a lot of clout in that draft room.
Right.
It's a team, quote, air quotes again, team effort between him and Reggie McKenzie. So it could be a shocker, man. And he did say, the quote that came out today, he said, this is a running back class that is fully loaded. We'd like to get a running back too. So he did say that. Whether it's at 10,
a fully loaded class also means we're gonna get a running back. We can get him anywhere we want.
There you go.
Right. So also you want to take into consideration, he went to Tampa Bay with an established defense, which everybody gives him crap for, but I think he realizes how beneficial having a standout defense is too. So don't be surprised if Gruden says, I'm not going to go offense. I'm going to go defense with my first pick.
Look at the team he won a Super Bowl with, right?
There you go.
So, yeah, I know. And we're not knocking guys. We think he's a tremendous talent. I mean, it's just at 10, it's just not the right position to pick him.
You want to try to steal a guy like that.
Yeah.
You want to try to get a steal with a guy like that.
Well put. And I know Nola Rick, if you're listening, your ears are burning right now too. Nola Rick, big LSU fan. Go Tigers, as he says. But, yeah, that's our ICU. So not putting you on blast or anything like that. I thought it was a good question. I did tell you last week that we would be talking about this running back class. And I keep teasing it, man, but we will get into some of these draft picks. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
The draft is around the corner, people.
I'll tell you what. It's around the corner. It's a little bit intimidating how deep this draft is. I just really don't know where to start, but I think it's like a big hoagie. I think it's like a big hoagie sandwich, man. You just got to dive right in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a half a Bible right here.
There you go.
It's just linebackers.
Yeah,
it's just linebackers.
That's just linebackers. you got color coded folders too. Damn.
This just keeps the paper straight, man.
You the real MVP.
This is the same.
You the real MVP.
It's the same folder I took to my tax guy. 2 weeks ago.
Oh, and just in honor of Reggie Nelson coming back here. Decided to play that. It's been a minute. Those of you that are brand new, during the regular season, we do our trash can player of the week. We do our MVP player of the week. I had to reset both of those sound effects, but
Ungoddamn believable.
yeah.
Yeah, Friskies.
Get them, Friskies. Get them. Time to do the shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
On Twitter, shout out Matt Dreyer. Shout out Return to Greatness. Shout out to Zach Kreischer. Are you related to Bert Kreischer by any chance? Bert the Machine. Shout out to Bro Love. Shout out Jay Lou. Rob Pearson, John M., David Dunn, Michael Jean Mercord, Noel Jenkins, Dat Raider, DJ Red, Francisco. Shout out to Mark Sanchez, Ben Butler, Adam Derizotis, Dave Wilson, and Raider Maury on Twitter. Shout out to IR Johnny, Podunk Raider, St. Homer, 303 Raider, Frisky, Silver and Black 666, Nola Rick, and the rest of the mod squad. Heck Legler, Dakota, John Olis, Gent, and Raider Educator on PJ4F. And a special shout out to TTG Film Room this week. Just did a film breakdown of Anthony Morrow. Check him out. He's on Twitter, TTG Film Room. You can find him on YouTube. It's not all Raiders. I'll tell you that right now. He does some college. He does a lot of pro NFL, different teams. He just does a different spotlight every week. This is a former Division I college player.
Nice.
Good guy. We talk a lot on Twitter just out of the blue. Just a good guy. Does really good film breakdowns. Smart dude. So check him out. As you know, check out Chase also. Chase Bugas, Raiders Unsung on Twitter. Thank you for the shout out on your recent video breakdown, TTG. He shouted us out on that Morrow video. So
yeah,
that was cool. But I definitely check out the Morrow video if not everything else. If you like video breakdowns, again, make sure you follow him. And shout out to everybody out there in Raider Nation.
The whole nation, man.
The whole nation.
Said the whole nation.
Shout out to everybody who just followed us during the show, man. That's how dope. That's how dank this episode is the word's already out, bro.
This is dank as my beer.
Yeah.
It's dank. It's pretty dank.
That beer is dank. It literally says dank on it.
That's it. That's it. Stone Brewery.
Stone Brewery is the real.
They're doing the thing.
Yeah, that's not a brewery for lightweights, bro.
No, it's not for lightweights.
No.
You gotta be a heavyweight to get into this class.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go
get yourself an Enjoy by.
If Belching Beaver is like the gatekeeper, Stone's like a title holder.
Belching Beaver is delicious. It's one of those beers that you could just.
It's a gatekeeper to that upper echelon.
You drink, and then you see Stone Brewery as one of the bosses, right? You see him up on the hill, like, oh damn, I gotta go deal with that motherfucker.
I gotta
now.
fight that dude. He got horns and shit. Yeah, you see it on the bottle too. A big shout out to Maurice Moton. As he was saying, I've been trying to get him on the show for, it feels like 2 or 3 months now. And it's not like he was putting us on. He wasn't stunting on us. He's just busy dude.
That's it, man. Hey.
Yeah. And it's the East Coast time zone. Second week in a row Michaels was on last week from Boston. And we record about 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
So these cats, I mean, they're real ones for coming on the air.
They're doing us a huge favor, man. We appreciate it.
So yeah, man. So that's it for this week's show, man.
Yeah,
right.
It's a great one.
It was a good one.
I thought it was a good one. You
Yeah.
let us know how you feel about it, people.
Yeah, let us know how you feel. Again, follow us on IG, follow us on Twitter. Come jump in the comment section at pj4f.com. Friskies is waiting for you. If you get the greeting from him and you make it past that, you are in, brother. You are in. Make sure you download the Pillaging app, coming soon for Android, available now on iOS. And last but not least, pj4f.com/shop. People ask me, where do you get that t-shirt? You go to the website and buy the damn t-shirt.
And get yourself a mug and maybe a canteen and maybe
a big frosted beer mug. A shot glass.
Mug. Yeah, get yourself everything, anything that you need in your life. Get it with a Pillaging podcast.
I'm about to release this beer pong table this season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Beer pong table?
Yeah, the official Pillaging podcast beer pong table.
Well, that will definitely be a star of the show at future tailgates, people. So come on over to the Pillaging podcast tailgate, okay? Because that's going to be on. It's going to be on like Doggy Kong.
Get your Skrilla right, though, because it ain't going to be cheap. Get your Skrilla right.
Skrilla,
man. Vitalo business bitch. That's it. PJ4F.com. And every week, call and leave a message to be played on there. 408-909-PJFF. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined every week
by your boy Chick.
We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.